Today's video, we're going to talk about how many websites should I have, or how many websites basically should you have that you should market to market your business online. 1, 2, 5, 10, 20? There's an ideal amount that you want to be able to set up, given having more websites, it's just more to manage, more hosting fees, more crap to go wrong. Your websites can get hacked, more security to deal with, more to test all the time, testing the forms, testing the phone numbers. But on the other hand, having one website by itself, a lot of times this just isn't good enough. It ain't going to cut it to make money online for your business because you're not niche enough, would be the main reason there. And you could do yourself a huge favor and 2 to 5x the ROI from your advertising campaigns by having these micro niche websites that you market. You have a collection of websites that you market. Why? Because somebody who goes to see a suicide cleanup service versus a biohazard cleanup service is automatically going to assume that your service is better because you specialize. And but of course you can only specialize so much before you have so many websites. It becomes the bigger issue is managing all those websites again. So what I'm going to basically cover here is where is that sweet spot where you don't have too many websites, too much stuff to manage, but you're getting the most of the value out of having multiple sites, and then with that you'll be able to make the most money. Sometimes though, certainly one website's the way to go. I'm not trying to say on this video you have to have multiple websites. That's not the case at all. Most people can get by with just one website, and one website's the easiest to manage, like I said. And then with that one website though, you can crush it in your market by focusing on other things to be better. Okay? Not just having you're the one specialist in your area that just focuses on suicide cleanups. You get a unbelievable offer going. You get a unbelievable sales process going that's meticulously planned and tested all the way through. You have your product or service be better than anybody else's in your local market, and then you advertise the fact that it is. Or you can come up with the micro niche website method that I was talking about to basically make yourself, what you always want to do to make money online is to make yourself seem like you're the best one for that customer. One way or another. There's just multiple ways to do it. Having a site that says you only do one thing and they're looking for that one thing, that's just one way to do it. So with that, you might just be better off with one website and being the best choice for your customers or clients in your market by doing other things. And maybe it's just by having multiple websites and seeming like you specialize because you got a website that just does one thing and with that people will assume you're better at that one thing than anybody else. That's the way to go. So I'm going to go through all these points in detail, and then with that you'll have everything you need to know about how many websites you should really have that you should market online. Before I get into the content, obviously there's an element of what a lot of people try to do when they have multiple websites is they try to saturate the market. They think if they're offering, going back to that suicide cleanup thing, if they have 15 websites that do that, they got 15 chances to rank on Google Organic. They can run 15 different ads across the internet, or have all 4 of their ads at the top of Google. And the reality with that is it's going to cost so much money to market 15 websites that it's not so cut and dry. And then not only that, when you're talking about the ads themselves, you're competing against yourself. So the ROI on your 4 ads is just simply not going to be as good as if you took one ad and then made that one ad be much better than your competition. Because making money with ads, especially when you're talking about Google ads, it's about how much better than your competition can you do so that you're paying less per click, you're getting more clicks to convert into a sale or whatnot there. And ultimately, if you have something that's 3 times as good as your competition, you're going to do real well. Well, now if your competition is yourself and you have 3 other people you're competing against who all are doing well, that ROI now doesn't exist like it did if you were just competing against the other bozos in your market. So for the most part, getting websites to kind of compete against yourself to saturate the market like that, that's a misnomer. You're not going to really make the most money. You'll make the most money with one website where you do everything 10 times better than the competition and just crush it and be that obvious choice in your market instead of, you know, saturating your market and trying to be like, oh, well, now I've got 10 chances for people to click on me. I know, because I've seen a lot of people try this, and with all the costs, you're just better off marketing that one website and then doing more to get that one website to convert better than to try to manage 15 websites. And at the very least, what you should be doing is take that one website and do literally, like I was just saying, everything you can to make it convert better and turn it and make sales. And when you absolutely have nothing else left to do that you could possibly make it better, that's the time when you should have other websites to saturate the market. And when you do that, you got to have separate legal entities for each one to not violate Google's rules, and have it be a long-term sustainable process for yourself, going through all that trouble to set it up, and then you get slapped and have it taken away. You're just wasting your time. So to substantiate setting up 5 companies to run 5 websites, you better, in other words, you better have exhausted your other opportunities first, in other words. With that said, getting into the meat of the content, like I was talking about I would here before, most people who start out marketing online have no differentiator. It's not simply good enough to have, just to give you a side, I run an ad agency here, just specializes in online ads, sorry. And what people expect me to do is take their turd, polish it up really well with some ads, and make their turd sell. Just having the good ads by itself is not good enough anymore. There's too much competition out there. You got to have at least one differentiation point that we can focus on with our ads, that we can point to and say, hey, we're actually the best. And maybe it's only the best in one thing, but at least we have one thing we can talk about and focus on and have that is the best, instead of just taking a piece of crap and trying to use ads to sell a piece of crap. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just like if you're an ugly mofo and you're out there in the public trying to get a date. Just because you start shouting the loudest isn't going to make a difference. The pretty person's going to get a date and they barely have to try. You want to take that strategy. Of course, we can't change how we look, but with your business, you can actually easily have a differentiation point. And then where the magic really happens is you have that differentiation point and you have the good marketing techniques like I talk about on this channel that always work and that your competition aren't going to be willing to use, so they work extremely well. Then you pair the two and then you do so well. That's where you specifically want to be. If I get you the best ads in the world with a dog shit product or service with no differentiator, I might be able to get you to break even, but why settle for that? That's just dumb, basically. It's too easy to come up with a differentiator. If you can't come up with a differentiator at all, well, sell something else. I mean, basically, that's the end of the day, like the reality here. So no differentiator in your business. You're not cheaper, you're not higher quality, you don't have a better sales process that's better than your competition's, whatever. You can just count on your ROI being dog shit, okay? If you can type in what you do onto Google and you find like 10 other companies doing it and you can't say specifically why you're better than those companies, and not just say, well, we offer better service. No, that's an answer people give by default when they don't have a differentiator. Everybody says they have the best service. And even if you do have better service, do you think people are going to believe you? Because that's what everybody else says. They call up those 5 companies, what are they going to say? We have better service. And then the consumer is going to be sitting there thinking, well, they all say they have better service, I still don't know who to go with. That you've got to have a real differentiation point. What are you doing that's 10 times better than the competition? That could be the thing with the good marketing that gets you the amazing returns in your market. So in order to set up your differentiation point, you do have multiple things to focus on here. And there's more than this, of course, but these are the main ones I would recommend you focus on. Why these specifically? Because these are the things everybody else F's up on. They don't have a good sales process. They try to have a secretary lady answer the phone and she wings it and says whatever the hell she wants to say on the phone and gets to the phone calls whatever the hell she wants to get to them, and it's shitty all the way around for the customer. You could just simply have a well thought through process of how you answer the phone and take the order and all that, and you're already 10 times better than everybody else in terms of the chance that the person who does call when you actually do get a call to get it and turn it into a sale, and a profitable one at that. But anyway, with that said, these are things that people don't do. And if you do it, it's easy to be 10 times better in at least one thing that gives you your edge when the ads are run right to actually make money, and for something to point to in your ads as well. For some of these, not all. But anyway, with that said, starting with the first one, unbelievable offer. Find an unbelievable offer you can make. Most people, if they have a cleaning service, what do? We offer cleaning services. Please buy. Why should I buy your cleaning service? We offer good service. You know, and with everybody else being that stupid, it doesn't take much thinking to understand how to get everybody to just go with you. Come up with an unbelievable offer. Why don't we say, in that particular case with the cleaning service, that our cleaning people come with French maid outfits. You know, it would be the one thing where you would like laugh at it, and it would be clear. Okay, now I know I want to go with that one because, and obviously it can't be just anything random. The consumer has to find value in it. We'll just come up with something like that. Or in our agency, okay, PPC agencies. You probably got people calling you up trying to sell you PPC services several times a week. How is it that I grow my agency to millions of dollars a year in sales revenue successfully? I came up with an unbelievable offer. We won't charge you any PPC fees up front until we raise your sales a certain minimum amount up front. And if you don't get that, you don't pay anything to our agency. And nobody else does that. And I knew by doing my research, everybody wants a guarantee that their ads are going to work. Okay? And the biggest fear is that they hire somebody, they're going to get ripped off, considering 90% of companies you hire can't get the results. It wouldn't work in a cleaning service because everybody gets results, per se. So we offered that, and that was the one thing that we could say in our marketing that made us stand out and give us an edge on everybody else, and then we built up from that. People don't like offering guarantees, because I tell people all the time, offer a guarantee, because that will work in a lot of different markets. And what do they say? Oh, I don't know, maybe people will want a refund, and they'll go out of business, because I have to give a refund all the time. Well, if your product's that shitty, where you're afraid that people are going to ask for a refund, you've got a problem anyway. The reality is, if you offer a guarantee, guess what? They're not going to ask for a refund probably any more than they already do. And in fact, the ones that we've had do that, that's about what it is. And even if you did have a problem with too many people trying to scam you and get a refund, then you just put individual terms into place. Must be a pilot, or you must have had tried it, and you have to show proof of that, or whatever. Saying money works or your money back, or even better, it works or we'll give you 200% your money back. That's the one thing that when nobody else says it, that gets across to the user in 2 seconds why they should buy yours, and now you have an edge. And that was all it took. Because nobody else has some balls to offer a guarantee, and you have the balls to do it, you're going to end up with the millions of dollars in sales in your business, and everybody else that doesn't have any balls, that we're so afraid to get taken advantage of, are just out of business. I'm so afraid to go out of business, I'm going to go out of business. Versus, you're going to get some balls and say, I'm going to go out of business if I don't try something anyway. People who make money online are going to be able to, they got to take risks. You got to try shit, you got to see what works. Got to see what sticks to the wall. Maybe it doesn't work right away. Maybe people do scam you. We'll tweak the offer. Find out how you not get scammed. Anyway, so that's one way to differentiate, which doesn't require having a separate site, so you can say you're the only kitchen cleaning service versus a cleaning service, or you only fix Ferraris versus an exotic car shop or what have you. Okay, second way is to make the sales process immaculate. Like I was talking about earlier, most clients I deal with at my firm, they just think that I'm a magician. I can do everything. I can make them rich just because the ads are working. If you have to do a two-part sales process where I have to generate a phone call and you got to do what you need to do to sell, if you haven't optimized your sales process at all and just expect the leads to be so good that a secretary could just answer the phone, and wing it, then you're basically being stupid, because that's not going to work. I'm telling you that's not going to work. You got to do enough. There's a bare minimum you got to do to make it work. If you have an unbelievable offer and a shitty sales process, you could get by. But that's because you still have the differentiator here. If everything else is the same and then you have the shitty sales process but good ads, it's still not going to work. So when I say good sales process, I mean literally orchestrate the entire process. You got to be able to know when they answer, who answers it, what's the amount of rings that is allowed before you answer the phone. What do you say when you answer? Is it hello? Is it, hey, welcome to XYZ Cheese Pizza Emporium or whatever? And then, do you have a script that the person who answers the phone has to go through? Once the person has went through the script and they are getting a quote, what immediately happens after that? You need to literally map this shit out like a scientist. Get it down. And it's not going to be perfect right away, because a lot of people, what would stop them is to say, well, I don't know what's ideal. Try something and then be able to measure. What's your closing rates? I got 15 calls, closed 2 sales. Okay, that's shit. What else can we do to change this so that next week instead of 15 calls and 2 sales we get 3 and then 4? And just keep tweaking it and tweaking it. The sales process that I set up at our agency 10 years ago, I'm still tweaking it to make every teeny tiny little revision I can do it to get every dollar of sales out of every lead I produce. Because why not? Nobody does this, hardly. And the people, by the way, that do, they make shitloads of money, I promise you. So, and a lot of the problems, by the way, is just people, the owner is not hands-on, they don't want to answer the phone, so that they have to have an employee answer the phone, and then they say, well, Corey, I can't afford to have a real salesperson who's good answer the phone because I can't afford their wages. Well, then you need to answer the phone, dummy. Because if you don't, and you don't have a salesperson answer the phone, and a secretary who doesn't know their ass from a hole in their head answers the phone, those leads aren't going to convert. So that's the big issue at hand most of the time. Just wanted to point that out as well, because that's the biggest mistake people make. So if you can't afford the right person, you have to do it. Get up, and if you're not going to do it, just close shop, because it isn't going to work. Your ads are just not going to be profitable, unless you have a major differentiator point somewhere else. Number 3, make your service or product 10 times better than your competition. And then apply for all the awards and everything to prove it. So a lot of you guys have a great product or service that is 10 times better than the competition, but your ads by itself isn't going to be able to make up for everything, to make a good amount of money online, good profit from your ads, where the ads are paying for themselves, and so you can grow the ad spend and all that. If your product is good, you need to go pay to have it every way it can be reviewed online, pay to get it reviewed. Go to all the industry review sites, get it reviewed. Go to a bunch of influencers, get it reviewed. So that when somebody types in your product and then reviews, they see a first page on Google that just has reviews on it, glowing reviews. When somebody types in what your product is under Google and then reviews, or best and then the name of your product, you have shit showing up on the first page of Google that they find of yours as well. The important part here is that you get the awards, you get the influencers to review you, and then you could put that in your marketing. #1 most rated on mattressreviews.com. And then they get to your site, they see it's also well reviewed on mattress.com and here and here and here. That right away then delivers value for the user, because now you aren't just saying you're the best, you've proved it. And then after they leave the site, you can hit them with other ads, remarketing ads that say the same thing. If you have the best product or service, you have no choice not to make this investment. this is your differentiator point. People aren't going to know you're good until they buy, and you're going to go broke trying to run your ads at a loss for people to figure out that it's good and then talk about it themselves online. You're going to do, well, much better for yourself just to pay to get it reviewed now and then run your ads after that's already done. So that could be your differentiator, or you could do what this video is primarily about, is make more websites. If you're selling kitchen mixers, instead of having a website that sells kitchen appliances, you have kitchenmixer.com. And that's all you sell on that website. That will automatically get a higher conversion rate from the same clicks than sending people to a kitchen appliance website by itself. That's just how things work. The question is how much can you do that before the administration cost of managing all these websites is too much? And then you'll have to, it obviously varies based upon your business and all that, but just know one of the ways that you can just simply differentiate if you can't be cheaper or better or afford to have your sales process set up right or don't want to or whatnot there, you could just have a website and be the only person who specializes in a particular product, so that when somebody goes looking for a kitchen mixer and they see the ads at the top of Google, kitchenappliances.com, homeappliances.com, and then it's kitchenmixers.com, of course, what are you going to click on? And then you get to the site, and there's just kitchen mixers, and you can increase your conversion rates like double in that case. That doubling might be the only amount, that's the only little thing it took to go from a 4-to-1 return to an 8-to-1 return to make your ads viable enough to scale your ads. So this is actually more important in services instead of products. For products, a specialized site that's not that big of an increase in conversion rate you're going to get. You could have paintstore.com and you could sell, let's say, rust covering paint on that site and do pretty well. And just because you went and had a site that was like rustpaint.com, you might get 20-30% more conversion rate having it on that specialized site. Where this really comes in handy is for services. If you have a product engineering service where you make product designs for people, and you have a website that's called productengineering.com versus engineeringservices.com, that's going to convert probably 2, if not 3 times better. So, the best place to start is, if you're already running ads on Google, is to look at what keywords or what search terms that people are typing in physically before they typed in clicked on your ads in the past are getting searched the most, and then create a dedicated site just for that term, and then start sending your traffic at that site. Money you make from that, start another website to go after the second most search terms, third most search terms, and so forth. And that you can walk up the profitability of your current ad spend that way, like one keyword at a time, so to say. So just know going in, the biggest problem with managing a bunch of websites is that I see people where they're making mistakes in the past is they don't have the right security. Sites are getting hacked all the time nowadays. You got to set up each website so it's very, very secure, because you don't have time to manage 15 websites. If your site gets hacked, you might not know it for 2 months or something like that. So just know you got to set it up to a minimum standard. And not, because here's the thing that kills me and kills everybody, is they say, well, I'll invest in that once it starts working. Once it starts working, I'll spend money on it. And that's like saying, I will put gas in my car after my car starts moving. If you don't put the right security on your site before you get started, it's going to get hacked. And it's going to get hacked. You're going to notice it 2 months later. You're going to lose all your rankings. Your ads are going to go to shit. You're going to go back down to 0. And when you get it all fixed, you're going to be starting from 0 again. Take my word for it. And it may not get hacked right away, but that day is coming. The more traffic your site gets, the more of a target you are. And there's also other considerations, but there's a certain amount of, just don't half-ass it and say, well, I can't afford to do all this stuff on my site because I have 5 sites now. Well, if that's the case, just don't do it at all. Find a different way, or come up with the money some other way. Anyway, I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as I have a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with ads and just with your business online along with it, just like I did here. With that said, if you like my channel, I also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog, as well as a column over at entrepreneur.com. With that said, if you have any questions, by the way, about anything I covered or any related question related to ads or whatnot, you can leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. If you are looking for an ad manager that can get you guaranteed results on your campaigns, you should definitely reach out to us at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and see what the potential is with what you're doing. And if we can work together, I'll give you a quote on how much results we can provide for you up front before taking any fees. So we don't work with just any client, but if you have something good that looks like it can do well, I'm more than happy to be able to work with you. Beyond that, we also, if you're not looking to work with an ad agency like us, we also sell campaign templates. We've worked in over 100 markets in the last 10 years, and with that, if we've gotten great results in your market already, you should just use the ad templates that we've set up for your market that already get known results and copy and paste those results into your account. In that, because we've already ran ads in your market for years, we know what exactly works, we've done all the trial and error, why not just use what we have? And we sell it for a one-time fee. Plus, we can tell you what results we get with it up front before you ever used it. We got people using these templates for starting up other side businesses, e-com businesses, selling leads, whatever, and something we might want to consider as well. But so we also have that, by the way. And then if you do want to work with an ad agency, but you don't like paying agency fees for whatever reason, which shouldn't be a problem, but if you want free services, we are allowing free services that for something that we normally charge thousands of dollars for, totally for free, if you're willing to let us share what experiences that we've learned and what we come up with your accounts, your ad accounts, here on this channel, so that we can share with the community here how to get results as applied to real companies. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com and be more than happy to see if we can do something like that as well. But I'll pretty much wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.